It's a podcast called I Choose You. Ben, Evan, Jeremy, Andy, and you. Let the cooking begin. I choose you.
Hello, and welcome to I Choose You, the podcast about cooking and eating Pokemon. My name is Jeremy Zielick. I'm the host and Alton Brown of the group. Joining me this week, as always, is...
your friend on this show, Ben Montoya.
Ian Davis, the Felix Sultan of the show.
And living on island time is Evan Aubrey.
High noon. Evan, are you drinking a high noon?
Darn tootin'. It's pineapple this week.
Oh yeah.
How would you rate it on a scale of
Feeling tropical. Honestly, like none of the high noon flavors go wrong. Like it's all real fruit juice, all vodka, none of this fake crap. So like I'm here for it.
I know this is a little bit of a divergent path from LaCroix Boys, but on the topic of pineapple, I need to bring air some grievances here on I Choose You about a little friend of mine and yours, Jeremy Zielick, when it comes to pineapple. So we were in Santa Fe chilling, me and Asia and Jeremy, some other friends were going to come over. Gonna get some pizza, right? I asked Jeremy, hey, what do you want on your pizza? He said, none for me, thanks. Oh no,
Jeremy.
Thank you for this generous offer. I already ate before I came here, so I won't have any. So then me and Asia start discussing. One of Asia's favorite toppings to get on pizza is, you guessed it, pineapple. And
all right.
Jeremy has the audacity to say, well, maybe you should get pineapple on half of it because I might have some.
What a fucking Jeremy move.
Jeremy, button in with your pineapple hot takes.
And let the record stand that he did take some pizza and he did have pineapple pizza. And I can't remember exactly what the verdict was, but I remember it not being bad.
It was fine. It's one of those things where I shouldn't have said anything, honestly, but because then we get situations like this where I'm roasted publicly like a fucking pig on a spit. But it's one of those things where it's like I don't like it enough that I would actively seek it out. But I guess again, I shouldn't have said anything. I should have just let well enough be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's fair.
It's kind of like green beans. I don't love green beans, but I'm fine if they're presented to me. But I won't actively seek them out, in my opinion.
Like if someone's ordering a pizza and they're like, hey, what do you want on it? And they're like, oh, I'd love some green beans. You're like,
yeah.
I don't know. Maybe on half of that pizza?
Yes.
I'm gonna flip the tables on you guys.
Uh-oh.
I was thinking today, classic conundrum, do I make a salad for dinner? Do I order a pizza?
Oh, okay.
And then I thought, what if I chopped the pizza into little pieces and put it in the salad?
Oh,
Pizza salad.
No.
Interesting.
kind of
That
pizza?
sounds like bad. That sounds bad, honestly.
Okay, explain.
Well, I think first of all, usually pizza's pretty greasy, and I feel that would kind of like ruin the texture of your salad, which I imagine you want to be slightly crunchy.
Wait though, hear me out. Day old pizza in like a spinach arugula salad.
Okay, so
Pizza's
been
cold.
it's been sitting on your counter.
You cut it into like thin strips maybe, or little squares like croutons.
Then you flash fry them like croutons.
Don't have to.
Put them in the air fryer.
Now, all right. Well, no, because then the cheese gets gooey. We're in the same situation we were before.
It's less the cheese than I was thinking you got a pizza from Domino's or whatever, and it's like nice and hot, and you're like, oh, I gotta put this in my salad, and you like do it immediately.
I can imagine maybe like a frozen pizza, perhaps, pulling that situation because it's definitely not going to get too greasy. If anything, it's a little bit too dry as it is. So like putting it in a salad with like some dressing could help,
Like ranch, right? Just ranch dressing right on top.
I guess if you're not totally allergic to eating pizza with a fork and knife, this could be your life,
Yeah.
Well, I'm definitely not allergic to eating pizza with fork and knife.
So this could be your life, is what you're saying.
Yeah, this is my life. Terminator pizzas. Anyway,
I'm surprised someone else hasn't come up with this first, honestly.
What putting? I'm sure someone has, but maybe they didn't post about it on Twitter.
Then
Like putting-
who could come up with it is AI. AI could come up with it.
Oh shit. Yeah.
Sure.
Type that into the dolly.
Well,
I'll let you know in like 2 seconds.
this isn't that different from like a taco salad.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
I feel like a taco salad is more deconstructed. We're talking about like bagel bite sized pieces of pizza into a salad.
Okay. What if they were bagel bites? What if you made pizza bagel bites and put them in a salad?
I would do that.
Okay, but Ian, what would your salad be?
Like, what would be in it?
Yeah.
I think you need a pretty like sturdy green. So like I think arugula could probably be up to the challenge. Maybe maybe like do it kind of like Southwest or like Asian kind of slaw style. You know, you got the
Mm-hmm.
the white stringy guys. You just need something with a lot of crunch, a lot of resiliency, a lot of grit.
Really got to get all your fiber out of this.
I'm gonna level with you. When I eat a salad, I do not want it to be gritty. That's probably the least appealing thing to happen to
No.
a salad.
Grit, less like dirt, more like the quality of a person that can withstand hardship. Like having a lot of pizza.
More
although
like the Philadelphia Flyers mascot.
Yeah, like gritty. What if this gritty served you this pizza salad? That sounds like something they would have in Philadelphia.
Oh
Yeah.
shit.
Well, it's the classic Philly pizza salad. You know, they call it the city of brotherly love. Well, this is the salad of brotherly pizza. And they just like cut it up and put it in there.
That seems
There
like
you go.
something you could probably get at a game. They're like, it's a salad, kind of, but it's mostly pizza.
What is this any sporting event or specifically hockey?
I mean, I haven't been to as many hockey games as other sporting events, so I don't know if there's like sport specific things about hockey, but I could definitely see it. I don't know. It's kind of cold in there, so maybe you don't want a salad. Like you probably do want something a little bit hot. So I would guess that they probably don't sell as many salads at a hockey arena than they do.
That's why every hockey game you get a bowl of chili when you walk in.
Right. Yeah.
Ooh. AI is telling me this pizza salad looks pretty good.
All right. Well, we're gonna have to post.
Can't complain.
We're gonna have to post that on Twitter because it's not gonna make sense otherwise.
It just looks like the tomatoes or pepperoni.
Well, I like that it has what seemingly ranch dressing or maybe cheese at some points is like Dixie cup squiggled on top of it.
I'd eat that.
Well, I will say, luckily, Dolly couldn't comprehend cooking and eating Pokemon as a prompt. So we have at least 2 more weeks of the show. Maybe if more people type it in, it'll become an issue in the future.
It'll just be like our 4 faces like melded together and like, you know, kind of weirdly like our faces are distorted and whatnot.
Yeah.
Oh god. So I earlier I sent the boys Guy Fieri in the B movie, but when I typed in the prompt, I tried to be really specific. So I was like Guy Fieri's head on Barry B. Benson from the B movie, and it just basically like it put Guy Fieri's head on top of a bee's body, but then there were like bees all over his face. It was something out of a nightmare for sure.
I'm glad you bring this up actually because I had a Barry B. Benson related incident today.
I thought you were going to say you had a Barry B. Benson dream.
It felt like it. Grace gardens a lot, right? She's out there a lot, and we actually have like a beehive of sorts going on in our garden. Like they've like, it's not like I don't know how they live in there, but there's like a hole in the wall that they all fly into. And she found one that's like wings were like messed up yesterday. You know, it was getting attacked by like some sort of like a wasp, some crazy shit. So she like got the wasp away from it to let it live, and then she, you know, moved on with her life. And then today, saw the same bee hanging out, not like in the same place, but just like around.
Uh-oh.
She was like, "Oh, we have like a thing going," and I was like, "Oh, do you?"
You better watch out.
I know. I was like, "Am I gonna get cucked by this bee?"
I love being cucked by a bee.
Well, and
Man.
George Costanza is your favorite character, so this is kind of all tracking, honestly.
It's like, fuck, you're right.
Yeah. Well, interesting prospects here. This isn't Pokemon related, but it happened right before the show started, so I want to get your guys' opinion.
Okay.
So I'm sure you're all familiar with the Academy Award winning film Joker, right?
Of course.
And you know that they're making Joker 2 or Joker Folie à Deux, which means Joker Madness for 2.
Love that.
Which obviously implies that they're going to bring in Harley Quinn. And you might ask yourself, who should play Harley Quinn in Joker 2? And if you thought Lady Gaga and they're going to make it a musical, then you would be right, because they are doing
real?
that. Yes.
Oh, no.
This isn't a joke. So Lady Gaga is going to sing her way into our hearts as Harleen Quinzel in Joker 2. So that's just a fun fact I wanted to tell you guys.
Does that mean there's going to
speaking
be
of Lady
more
Gaga,
open mic night scenes?
Yet.
Yes.
Do you think there'll be memes now of like it's Lady Gaga, but now she's wearing a meat suit and she says, "I'm going to become the Joker"?
Why don't you just become meat?
Yes.
This is unrelated. I came up with a really good dolly. Like, I was like, what would be funny? And then I thought of something funny. And I've only waited to
I
share.
thought it was funny.
I only waited to share with you now because it took me a long time to remember how to take a screenshot on my computer. But Easter eggs on this.
Okay, well, it better be funny. I better be laughing.
You laugh.
Yeah.
The suspense is killing me.
I better be Joker-fied by this post. All right, let's keep vamping. Okay. Bullwinkle RoboCop. Okay, interesting.
I like how it went very abstract, which I appreciate.
It is, yeah.
I mean, you could post this in an art gallery. The one on the upper right, which for some reason has like shadows effects.
It looks like it's in an art gallery already.
Yeah, this is definitely one of those episodes where there's going to be many photos posted the week of.
Well, there has to be a visual reference for our podcast sometimes.
And if you're not listening on the week that it's coming out and you're not following us on social media, then I guess you're just screwed. But
yeah, what are you doing, fans? Come on. Ian's about to lay down the law.
Yeah.
Don't
he's
get
ready
me
to kill someone.
started.
Yeah. He's about to commit a Joker.
I'm gonna do a Joker on you.
Yeah, well, I mean, every time you type something into DALL-E, you're committing a Joker because you're thinking up of something crazy that and you're laughing at it. You're laughing at a Bullwinkle RoboCop, but one of those Bullwinkle RoboCops has an image where the Bullwinkle RoboCop has a weird gaping flesh wound, and you think that's funny. You think that's funny. That makes you some sort of Joker.
Fucking sick.
Yeah, twisted. Anyway, but this is a podcast about cooking and eating Pokemon. I don't know. The beginning 15 minutes of this wasn't really a segment or like a usual bit that we do. It was more kind of tangents, but you know, that's what the people want. And this week, we've got a whole hog cooked up for you as each week on I Choose You, we randomly select a new Pokemon to cook and prepare, and we talk about it, who has the best recipe, and we vote amongst ourselves and agree about the bestness of it. This week, we're cooking and eating Deerling, or as I wrote on Twitter, Deering, because I forgot the L. But who was the winner? Who was the winner last week? Was it Ian? All right, Ian.
Davis.
Give us your Deerling recipe.
All right. Right. So Deerling, pretty like venison up and down. Just like puts on some fun clothes with the seasons, right? Like drapes a little tablecloth over its body to change up how it looks. So I needed it's clear that Deerling is really in touch with like nature. It's grass fed. You can't be feeding it like corn, right? This thing is not gonna it's gonna put on like a corn costume like Evan had earlier. It's not gonna be a good look for it. So you get your Deerling, you feed it the finest grass, the most organic, open pasture stuff. It's getting real tasty looking. And you also get some of your finest beer. Pick
I
your
see where
poison.
this is going.
Oh.
Pick whatever you want.
I see what this is. Yeah.
Now, I want to know where you think this is going, because I've only said that if we're feeding it well and I have beer.
Well, are you going to say the words Deerling at any point?
We'll see, Jeremy.
Wow. That wasn't that tough of a nut to crack.
So you harvest your deerling. And this is I'll read you the recipe, and then in my usual style I'll drop it on you at the end.
Hmm.
3 pounds of deerling. Nice fresh cut. Salt, pepper, olive oil, garlic, onions, carrots, celery, thyme, rosemary, bay leaf, tomato paste, apple cider vinegar, chicken stock, and a nice brown ale. Okay? Preheat your oven. Take the deerling brisket from the refrigerator. You let it rest for an hour. You let it warm up. Pat the biscuit. You're gonna pat the deerling brisket dry. Sprinkle a lot of salt and pepper on it. Excuse me. Heat the Dutch oven. And get like the braising pot ready. You're searing the brisket, okay, in the oil until it's brown, about 4 minutes. Flip it over. Do the other side. Then add the garlic, add the onions, add the carrot, all the stuff I just talked about. Add all of that in. Pour the beer over the top. Stick that in the oven. And you have a beer braised, grass grazed, Deerling.
Oh, yes.
Well,
Right.
but
There it
you,
is.
You did say the words Deerling, so we were able to figure at least 1/4 of this out.
You get a 25% on this assignment.
Oh yeah, that's still a failure though. You wouldn't let me pass your class with that attitude, right?
If you're in my class, your ass would be grass.
Oh.
Man, one day I should just show up and be like, I'm your new student. Mm.
Oh, jeez.
That would be I didn't think my job could be more of a nightmare.
and I have can I walk in with a propeller hat and a giant lollipop?
And no instrument whatsoever.
Well, I played percussion, so I can suck on my lolly while I'm doing it.
There you go.
Well, you can probably look up when the first day of school is for Ian and show up.
Luckily, the security measures have just gone through the roof at my school.
Oh, right. They probably wouldn't let you, actually.
Hopefully they wouldn't.
Like, this man doesn't look like a student.
All right. That's a very funfetti kind of recipe you got there, Ian. Would you serve this at like a barbecue or something?
I don't know. I get the vibe that this is more of a like sit down at the dinner table kind of recipe. You have like a glass of beer with the family. But
is this a farm to table and the farm is just like Deerlings?
It's more like you and your son went on like an uncomfortable hunting trip to table. You know what I mean?
Okay, why does it have to be uncomfortable?
Well, like he just wants to stand and play his video games, and you're like, I'll show you a real video game. And
Are you winning, son?
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. Like,
No, but you say that as he's hunting the deerling, and you like shoot it, and like you see the light go out of the eyes of the deerling, and you're like, "Are you winning, son? Each soul you collect gives you more power,
boy.
boy. The souls of the damned will fill you, boy."
What is happening right now?
It's from God
I don't
of
want to
War.
go on this hunting trip anymore.
Yeah, that's from the hit video game God of War from 2018. So Kratos has a child and he says boy a lot, and they do collect the souls of the damned. So continue, Ian.
Yeah, I mean, so the kid, has like a waifu pillow of the deerling.
Oh, whoa, he wants to fuck the animal he's hunting?
Not after the hunting trip. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Okay, so this is like a oh, my kid's too soft. I gotta toughen him up for this like dog eat dog world out here kind
Yeah.
of thing.
Exactly.
Well, it's like that episode of The Simpsons where Homer thinks Bart is gay and they take him on a hunting trip, but then they're saved by John Waters.
Yes.
Yeah, I meant like, you think your kid's a weeaboo? Got to take him out on a good hunting trip to.
But what if it makes him more of a weeb? Have you ever thought about
what if
that?
it has the backfiring effect.
Embrace the deer life.
Yes.
Regardless of this,
It's like the deer looks at him and it's like ooh, and he's like, I like ooh.
Like Bambi, but ooh.
Yeah. This Bambi ooh. Imagine just like hunting and like it turns into the 3 cat face as it looks at you.
Oh,
no. I take it all back. It's just a really nice meal. It's just really nice.
But does the meal, does it ooh at you as you serve it?
No, there's
Okay.
no oohs, no woos. Just nice
flavor.
Okay, Ian. I
Good
do
home
have-
cooking.
Yes, Ian. I do have to ask. Do you know what ooh means?
Jeremy, I teach middle school. Okay,
Of course he knows.
invented the uwu.
Well, I just want to make sure everyone knows what I'm talking about.
But I will say, our boy Tyler didn't know what uwu was, and he just started like saying it in his class.
Oh,
This was like when we were still teaching online.
Oh, okay. You just type it everywhere.
Yeah, and the kids thought it was fucking hilarious.
Nice.
All right. Who wants to follow that up?
I'll try.
All right. Go ahead, Evan.
So yeah, this following on the pun train. This week, what we're gonna do, we're gonna take just a slight piece of the Deerling. We're not going whole hog this week, but for a good reason. So, what you're gonna take out is the liver, because we're gonna make some deer schmear.
Oh shit!
Oh, is this
I like-
some sort of pate?
Yeah, exactly. A little venison pate.
little
Okay.
schmearling.
Yeah.
A little schmearling, a
All
Deerling
right.
schmearling. Yeah.
Give me that
So you're gonna-
schmearling.
So you're gonna gently fry some onion in a little butter, and then you're gonna add in a little bit of bacon and cook that together. And then you're gonna add in your bits of chopped liver, garlic, butter, double cream, herbs as you will, and then a little bit of all of that into the onion and bacon mixture. And then you're gonna bake all of this stuff for like close to an hour. Then you're gonna take it out, and you blend the entire thing in a food processor until it gets to a nice like pasty spreadable paste. And then you're gonna let it cool for a little bit. You don't want it to be like too piping hot.
Mhm.
And then this could be, so it's a schmear. I'm thinking on a bagel. I'm thinking like everything bagel with some venison pate.
Oh man, can it be mini bagels?
It
Maybe
could. We were
everything
talking about pizza bagels earlier. You could have like everything bagel bites, like with little schmear on top. That'd be a little good like hors d'oeuvre.
Yeah. It seems like something that they would serve at like one of those parties where they have like people with the like plates going around and everything.
Oh yeah, like a wedding reception.
Yeah.
Just like, yeah, exactly.
Some schmearlings.
Oh wow,
Dr.
schmearlings.
Schmearlings here.
Yeah, I've actually had pate for the first time when I was in Spain. Lots of pate options, and it was
What'd you
pretty good. I got to admit,
It's
And
pretty good.
It came with it was duck pate, and it came with honey that you drizzled
wow.
on
Oh, shit.
it, and it was
Whoa.
pretty darn tasty. Got to
It's
admit.
good stuff.
Liver pate is definitely one of those things where, like, up until trying it, I was like, that sounds fucking gross. And then my life hasn't been the same.
Yeah, lo
Really?
and behold,
Yeah, it's really
it's pretty.
good.
It's rich, but it's delicious.
Mhm.
I've
I
only
have
had
two
it a
que-
few times.
Yes.
2 questions.
Yeah.
One, is this available only in New York City since it's schmear?
This is your classic little bagel cart on the side of the street, and they've got a variety of spreads, and one of those being the rare Deerling schmearling.
Mm.
Yeah.
I am glad we settled on schmearling because deer schmear was just not doing it for me.
You know what, deer schmear?
A deer schmear sounds like when it takes a poo in the woods. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, no, you're not wrong.
What
I'm not wrong.
There goes my week.
Yes.
would
And
you-
look, it's like when you see a wild animal like do the do, and they look at you.
And you lock eyes. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
you know you're in trouble.
would
Yes.
we know that like this is a very like Vivaldi deer Pokemon with like the 4 seasons.
Mhm.
Oh,
Hmm.
fuck.
Yeah.
Vivaldi
Yep.
Deerling. Fuck.
Yeah, you play what's the one where it's like as you're like cutting it up or something, like that episode of Hannibal.
Ooh, yes.
My question, would like the four varieties be like, well, 4 varieties of the schmear? Like you have like, you have like your strawberry cream cheese, you have your
Mm.
honey cream cheese.
Mm.
Oh, I could see that being like slightly essenced pate. So you've got, yeah, like you were saying, some sort of berry pate. You've got, I like the idea of like maybe like a maple or a brown sugar or some sort of something sweet in the autumn one. Summertime, maybe it's fresh. Maybe you get a little bit of basil in there or some other like parsley or something. Winter form, I don't know what you'd do for winter. Like I don't know if you'd spice it like a nutmeg sort of deal, maybe. I don't know.
Ooh, that'd be good.
Yeah.
I like
Nutmeg.
that. Incorporating
done.
the 4 seasons.
Well, Ben, then you'll like my recipe.
Oh, take it away, Zelik.
Oh, take me to church, and I will, because we're going to a wedding. Ring those bells, ring it a ding 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 a dong. It's wedding season, and the many wonderful brides and grooms are marching down the aisles, but they've got a large party to feed. So the question is, how do you accommodate such a menagerie of people who are coming to bless the nuptials in their long living relationship? Well, the answer is with the traditional Chinese food dish of the 4 seasons. And you may be asking yourself, what is that? And the answer is, it isn't actually anything specific, but what it is large serving dish with 4 food items on it, each representing a different seasonal course that you serve at large parties. Now, sometimes it can be like 4 meats, like chicken, shrimp, pork, kind of situation. Beef. I forgot the 4th one in there. But I'm gonna like put my ass into this and actually try to figure out some fun things to say here. So, what we're gonna do is when we make our Deerling wedding dinner, is we're going to consider the 4 seasonal deerlings and how they will be approached in this recipe. Now, this is a grass type, so we're going to kind of go with a meat vegetable hybrid for the types of stuff we're going to take for this. So keep that in mind. So for the spring deerling, it's a pink color, obviously representing the cherry trees that occur in Japan in the spring. Now, I couldn't think of like a good kind of like cherry itself recipe off the top of my head, but what we will be doing is we will be taking its skin and using it to make a spring roll. So we're gonna get the deerling skin, which is kind of grass textured. We're gonna finely chop it, fry it up, roll it up, stick it in a spring roll. Boom, that's one of your seasons.
Nice.
Spring deerling roll.
Nice.
All right, you might be asking yourself, what are we going to do for the rest of these? Well, for the summer, that's kind of like, I was thinking it's kind of like hot, spicy, kind of a little more got zest in it. So we're going to do kind of like a spicy stir-fried deerling for the summer. So you're going to throw that in there, fry it up with your favorite spicy sauce, put some rice, maybe noodles, depending on how you're feeling right there. And that's going to go into that quadrant. Fall deerling, which if I'm remembering correctly, is kind of the orange color. We're going to go with the orange kind of like chicken there, or an oranged meat, if you will. So we're going to pluck its little flour off, and that's going to be our orange flavoring. And we're going to season our things, cook them up. That goes in the last one. Now, the last deerling is kind of like a gray color. So, and I'm leaning a little bit with this, but I'm gonna say it's kind of maybe I'm gonna go with kind of the bean curd dessert. Do you know what I'm talking about? Where you get some red bean curd, you put it in some mochi, and
Yeah.
and it sometimes comes out the color of the brown deerling. So we're gonna get some mochi, put in the bean curd, and then pat it down. The bean curd is made from the deerling tail, and have that as the 4th season. And there you go, 4 seasons total dinner for your wedding. Yes, Ian.
I'm glad you brought this up, actually. I saw this NPR article the other day, and I have it up here, and it raises this interesting question, which is, here, let me quote it. It says here, Jeremy, you actually went to China, I think. Would you be able to... I was just wondering if you've tried this dish.
Well, I didn't go to weddings when I was in China. I didn't like walk into somebody's wedding, which I did do when I was in Spain. So maybe I should have
Did you just grab from their buffet?
Yeah, I was like, oh, give it to me. No, it was like I was walking down the street and I was like, ooh, this is an interesting historical building, and it was a church, and someone was getting married as I walked into it. And
right
like
as they were like, does anyone object to this person getting this?
I do.
Yeah, and the entire crowd turns around in
Yes,
their seats.
it's like that man is an imposter, and they pull out like his fake driver license or whatever.
Did you feel more like Vince Vaughn or Owen Wilson in that moment?
I would like to think myself as an Owen Wilson. I definitely don't have the, let's say, the temperament of a Vince Vaughn. I wouldn't beat up a car like in Street Fighter and tear it apart piece by piece for 5 minutes in one scene. But yeah, that's my recipe. Any other questions?
Yeah, would you consider hosting this wedding at the Four Seasons Hotel or the Four Seasons Landscaping?
Well, obviously, I
yes.
think the hotel would be more engaging, if we're being honest with ourselves. But we could be flexible. I heard the Four Seasons Total Landscaping is across from the porn shop, so maybe that would be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Put some spice in your relationship.
Could make a really good 2020 election joke.
Yes, in the year of our Lord 2022.
Yeah.
Well, they'll bring this up at the congressional hearings where they'll be like, the I Choose You podcast stated on Monday, June 13th, 2022, that they made a total Four Seasons total landscaping joke kind of situation.
Yeah. Just to show the legacy.
Yes.
Jeremy, which of these 4 would you most likely gravitate towards?
Well, I'm a big fan of spicy kind of like noodles and fried rice dishes, if you will. But I think for the novelty of our recipe, I'm going to have to lean for the Deerling spring rolls.
Okay.
Ian.
Mr. Davis.
When I'm at a wedding, which is pretty frequent these days.
Yeah, well, you're taking pictures.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let me tell you, people don't like getting their picture taken when there's stuff in their faces. That's when I, Ian Davis, get a break and I get to go get the food. And it's awesome because the bride and groom are always like, listen, guys, go, you should go eat first. So that way, you're ready to go when, so I'm first in line. When I go down the row, I'm just slopping, I'm piling it up. Every
Sloppy steaks.
The fish, the chicken, the meat, the pork, the beef, the vegetarian option. I don't give a shit. I'm just getting my money's worth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is that how would I be respected for doing that with the Four Seasons, or is it more of you pick a season and you stay in your lane?
No, you want to get a bit of each season because it represents a year in the life of this new couple.
Okay. Do you want the full mix?
Yes.
All 4 seasons.
Yeah. But it's presented as they're each in a quadrant, if you will.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Mathematical.
Yeah. All right. Ben, what's your recipe?
It's interesting that you were also looking at this 4 seasons theme, because that was where my mind was at as well.
Sorry.
Evan produced another AI-generated image of deer bagel schmear, and they kind of just look like regular bagels. I'm not gonna lie.
One of them isn't even cut.
Sorry, Ben. I didn't mean to derail.
Okay. It's all right. So what I was kind of thinking is I'm gonna paint a little picture for you, and then kind of show you, tell you what the recipe is. So
Okay.
imagine you're walking through kind of like a farm town kind of feel, maybe in like the foggy lands of England. And you go into a pub, and it's called the Tipsy Saws Book, and it's got like
yes.
Saws Buck, and he's looking a little wily, like whoa, and he's got like a drink in his hand. And it's just a nice little pub, and they serve very like simple meals. But you're in there, you're like all wet from the dreary moors or whatever. And you walk in, and you're like, I would like some deer finger food. And they're like, I have just the thing for you. We have some deer things for you. And of course you order a Deerling to go with it, because you just need just a little kick. It's just a little beer though. It's not a full pint. It's like it comes in like a little tiny little goblet.
Nice.
And what the deer things that the bartender brings you are Deerling bitterballen, which is a Dutch style of like croquette, like a little fried croquette deal.
Ben, do you know what a croquette is?
I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but it's like one of those fried little like thingies, appetizers.
Yes,
Yeah,
but do you know what it's made out of?
Stuffed with cheese and meats, right?
No,
Yeah.
it's not.
What is it stuffed with?
It's stuffed with nothing. I'll tell you a little secret. In Spain, which I went to, they fucking love croquettes. You get them everywhere, and you can't like walk 10 steps without getting them. So all a croquette is fried bechamel sauce. Do you know what bechamel is?
Right. Yeah,
It's
that like white sauce.
Yeah, it's basically gravy. It's a flour-based sauce. So it's all a croquette is they make it in a little ball. They cover it a little bit with some crunchy stuff, and they fry it, and that's all a croquette is.
Well, Jeremy, that might be how they do it in Spain. But we're in England right now.
God blimey!
And actually, it's a pretty similar process. I didn't even factor in that this is like a Dutch croquette, so I'm really just all over the place European-wise. But basically, it's very similar to what Jeremy described. You have some gravy, and you have some Deerling meat that you're gonna brown, and then you're gonna combine it into a big like pasty mixture of gravy and meat, and then you're gonna deep fry it, and you got these nice tasty meatballs with some gravy. But the real kicker is the dipping sauce, because you are eating some deer finger food. And I thought to represent the 4 seasons, we'd have 4 different sauces of different colors.
Very good.
So for the winter form, I have like a spicy brown mustard that you can dip into. Like some stone, like you soak the mustard seeds in the vinegar and like grind it out and everything. For the green one, you're gonna do a green chili ranch
Oh yeah.
dipping sauce.
Yeah.
For the like orange one for fall, it's a habanero avocado mayo.
Ooh.
And then for the pink version, the like spring, it's like your typical like fry sauce, like Worcestershire sauce and ketchup and mayo and all that stuff.
Love that. Ben, I have to admit, when you said deer finger food, it made me think of the Adventure Time thing where the deer like pulls off its hooves and is
Right.
like,
Yeah. Ian.
I got 2. This first one's not a dig, but you're offering a lot of spicy sauces in this English like.
Yeah.
I feel like if I ever imagine like you brought like green chili sauce to England, you would fucking kill people.
Yeah.
They'd be dropping in the streets.
Yeah, I came up with my sauces, and then I was like, oh yeah, the Tipsy Saws book. This is where it's happening. But then I didn't really connect any of the like places that I was to what I was actually serving. So that's where I went wrong on that one. You're totally.
I appreciate the grab bag of thoughts, though.
My second question, which is a minor dig.
Ooh.
I was wondering if you could recount for us the last time you went anywhere and said, I need some deer finger food.
Well, it's like that episode of Adventure Time where the deer takes off its hooves and then it has fingers that it wiggles about.
I was kind of thinking it's more, maybe it's the way you say it, you know, like, I would really love some deer finger food.
That's
know?
not better.
Like a
Deer-
like Deerling.
Deer thing? Oh no, not
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
I see. So you like go into the restaurant and you make that pun, and you expect
Yeah.
them to not spit in your food.
Basically.
Okay.
Excellent. Well, do you want me to recap our recipes this week?
I would love that.
Please.
From Ian, we have your ass is grass, Deerling. Is that what you said?
Beer braised, grass grazed. Deerling.
Okay, Deerling. I'll just say that. From Evan, we have deer schmear on a bagel, perhaps. From me, we have Four Seasons Deerling wedding recipe. And from Ben, we have, what did you call it again?
You can call them deer things.
Deer things. That's
Deer
right.
things.
You said a bunch of stuff, and I was like, I can't remember the whole like conceptual umbrella. You're in England, jolly old England, and you go.
Yeah.
Conceptually,
You
it
wa-
was all over the place. Just stick to deer things. Let that be the thing that you can grab onto, the thread.
You
that
walk
brings
into the
back.
Sawsbuck and then you look at the
The
menu,
Tipsy
and instead of
Sawsbuck.
appetizers, it says deer things.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot to share the poll. I did make one.
Okay, well, tell us. Let's do some more filler. Oh no, never mind. We don't have to do any more filler. Let's vote on these recipes and then decide amongst ourselves who has the best. All right, here we go. And Ben, who's the winner, Mon?
It's not letting me vote.
Um,
There we go.
Let this man cast his vote.
Yes.
Got it.
All right. Well, the suspense is killing everyone, and it will continue to kill because it's a 4-way tie.
Oh
What?
Are you
shit.
kidding me?
Nice.
Nice.
We did bring it this week. I
Wait,
will
I
say.
shouldn't have voted for
Honestly,
Ben.
there were some good ones. I feel a little
Pretty
bit like
excellent.
I didn't really earn that one, but
Ben, who voted for Ben?
No one will admit it.
I voted for Ben.
Okay,
I'll be the first and only one to say it.
I voted for Ian.
I voted for Evan.
I voted for
Ah, there
Jeremy.
it is.
Well, we all have voted for somebody different. It wasn't
Well-
like, and it wasn't reciprocal either.
That's true.
It's because we're all winners.
Oh, maybe we should just say that we all win this week.
Fuck that. I'm taking you down. Daisy.
Yeah. Ian's gonna let the fans decide. Those fans that he's been bashing all
Yeah.
week long.
The fans who
See,
is
this is where your political opinions might come to bite you in the ass.
yeah,
here.
when you actually have to
Davis.
face the people.
You're gonna get
Even when I-
canceled.
Even when I was still like with the fans, they still took a giant shit on me in the public polls. So I have nothing to. In fact, history shows if I treat them like shit, they'll actually vote for me more.
That's you make a good point. You make a good point.
Excellent.
Oh,
Okay, so now we go on to our favorite section of the show. It's called. Wait, hold on. Do we have an ad this week?
We do have an ad this week.
Okay, I apologize. I'm so used to not having ads for this show that when we do have an ad, it's a bit of a shock. It like snuck up behind me in an alleyway or something.
we're sponsored, baby.
Yeah, and this week we want to throw it to our great sponsors for everyone's second favorite segment, Pokey Dollar Holla. So now let's hear a word from our sponsors. Wow, what a great advertisement. Make sure to try their service and or product. Now we move on to everyone's actual favorite section of the show, Whale Lord's Mail Horde, where we read your emails, comments, and questions sent into ichoosepod@gmail.com. And we actually have an email this week for once. Ian, can you read this email from Mike?
I sure can. Hey, IC Chefs. My name is Mike. I'm new to the pod, but I'm flying through the back catalog as I work nights. Currently in season 3 and catching up quickly. If nobody has claimed the title, I would like to be the Sandra Lee of the show, because my specialty is semi-homemade cooking.
Well, okay, I'm going to interject here and tell everyone who Sandra Lee is. She's kind of like, she was like a Food Network kind of host, but her whole thing was like she would buy like cake mix and stuff, and you'd like make kind of stuff with cake mix, and it's kind of disgusting. There's a famous clip of her where she's making some sort of mixed drink and she's like, just put a splash of tequila or vodka or whatever, and she like
Oh,
pours
that's
like a whole thing in it.
Oh yes.
Oh,
Okay.
all right.
So that's who Sandra Lee is.
Very nice. When I saw that you had pulled Deerling out of the proverbial hat, a recipe fueled with nostalgia for a time gone past immediately came to mind. The year was 2013, my senior year of college, and one of my best friends, what up, man Drew? was,
Nice shout out for the podcast.
yeah,
Said with the awkwardness of someone who hasn't talked to them in 11 years.
was taking his last semester abroad, so over winter break, a few of us drove the 4 hours up to where Mandrew and his family lived near Cooperstown, New York. Surrounded by the snow-covered hills and rolling farm pastures, I was shown the way to this recipe. I see chefs I present for your consideration. Deerling and vegetable lasagna.
Ooh.
First order of business. You want the summer form of Deerling for this recipe, ideally, but any form is fine. Then you got to process that beautiful grass-type meat. That's what I'm saying. For the purposes of this recipe, I'm presuming that Deerling is a neat 60-40 meat-to-veg ratio. So that means that a clean Deerling carcass yields about 28 pounds of meat, 15 pounds of veg.
It's a lot of meat and vegetables.
This is a fucking shredded, dense deer.
Mm-hmm.
Set the veg portion to the side for now. Once processed, you can take 2 to 3 pounds of Deerling venison and put the rest inside your large deep freeze. Preheat your oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Take the meat and run it through your kitchen mulcher or meat grinder if you don't possess a mulcher. Preheat your frying pan with some small olive oil, a small celebi chopped finely, and some garlic. Once hot, brown your Deerling meat before adding tomato berry sauce, 2 cans of diced tomato berries, a splash of red cooking wine, nutritional yeast, and let simmer. Adding tomato berry paste to thicken the consistency of this Deerling Bolognese style sauce. Now, chop up the vegetable portion of the Deerling along with some fungus, shinotic, and far-fetched leek. Layer your lasagna noodles, Deerling meat sauce, melting mozzarella, a nice buffalante ricotta question mark.
Ooh.
What does that mean? Is it ricotta cheese?
Yeah.
And
Like
vegetable
buffalo
buns.
mozzarella.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's what I assumed.
And vegetable buns in a tall baking dish, cover with more mozzarella. Bake in your oven for 45 minutes, covered with foil for the first 30, uncovered for the remaining cook time to melt and brown the cheese. Best served with the current seasonal LaCroix flavor and a healthy dusting of Parmigiano Reggiano cheese.
Yeah.
Can't wait to hear this read on the show in a few weeks. Sincerely, Making Food with Mike, in quotations.
Wow.
Oh.
He has his own. He has his own
All right.
like branding.
Is he plugging a YouTube channel or a TikTok?
No, it says
No.
don't read on air. So
No,
anonymous.
Ian, you misinterpreted that. He says don't read the thing in parentheses on air.
But
It's okay. All right. Well, I have this recipe from Pokemaniac Chris.
Mm-hmm.
So Pokemaniac Chris tweets at iChoosePod. Today I'm going to cook my take on Four Seasons venison, a famous Deerling dish and beloved classic of Unovan Haute. I don't know how Haute.
I believe it's hot cuisine. Haute cuisine. I don't know.
My version cuts some corners, uses cheaper ingredients, is a bit easier to prepare, and you could call it the Four Seasons Total Landscaping Venison.
Oh,
For
we
that
made that
reason.
joke.
It is.
The classic dish is for
It is.
perfect medallions of Deerling loin with season-themed spice rubs, sauces, and garnishes, edible flower petals, dainty miniature salads, toasted nuts, sunflake crystals, some kind of rainbow vinaigrette that might as well be magic as far as I'm concerned. It's great if you're in Castelia City with money to blow. You should absolutely order it. But for home cooks, it's a tall order. Maybe you don't need the fancy presentation. You can get most of what's good about this dish with just some medium rare steaks and 4 sauces. The spring sauce is just normal berry juice, rosemary, pepper, and muddled lilligant petals. The summer one is spicy cherry berry paste, a little orange berry oil, and crushed ginger. In restaurants, they add ground larvesta spikes. If you have some, use it, but don't break the bank. Autumn is a sweetened pomegranate glaze with a bit of cinnamon, livened up with dried servine fronds. Then for winter, you can make a simple mint sauce. You don't need to kill a vanillite just to melt its body for water, even though everyone swears it tastes better if you do. For the fancy version of this dish, restaurants use dry-aged loin from Deerling that were slaughtered in each of the 4 seasons. And again, it's delicious. It's amazing. But you can get something that's like 80% as good with fresh cuts from your local butcher. This is still fairly complicated, but all those sauces can be made in big batches ahead of time. Then, when you actually serve your Deerling steaks, you can just set the sauces out in bowls, and your guests can have as much as they want of each one in whatever order they like. In a restaurant, this will be served with expensive seasonal drinks, Cherubi wine, Cacturn mezcal. Ooh, I like
Nice.
that. Appleton cider, Snover absinthe. But we're trying to not break the bank here, so let's just have seasonal LaCroix flavors like cherry blossom, beach plum, key lime, and raz cranberry.
Raz cranberry. Sounds
Lovely.
good. Thanks for writing in, Pokemaniac Chris. I've got some recipes from the Discord, or I have one. Amy writes in and they say, Deerling's grass typing makes me think that it hides its hide is plant matter. Excuse me. So its hide, like its butt, is plant matter. Shorn with clippers or delicately trimmed if you're a backyard Pokemon gardener/chef, it can be harvested and prepared throughout the year. One of the easiest and most popular ways to consume it is as a beautiful 4-colored relish, made by pickling the hide each season and combining them together the following year. This tasty condiment goes well with Unovan venison hot dog or burger, and also is used in salads. The only pun I could think of was, oh dear, I'm in a pickle now.
I like
Yes.
Nice.
Wow.
Nice.
Wow. All right.
4 seasons relish.
4 seasons relish. How do you guys feel about relish on your dogs?
I'm a relish fan. I've become one over time, I've realized.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Living-
usually order it, but it is nice to get like a sweet pickle feel on there.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, that's it for Deerling, but what about next week's Pokemon? Well, we've got a segment for that. It's called Pick'emon. It's where we randomly generate a number from Evan, and we determine what next week's Pokemon will be. Evan, can you give me a number between 494 and 649?
Have we done 607 yet?
Have we? I don't know yet. Let me scroll. We haven't, and this is actually a great one. Number 607. Next week's Pokemon, we're going to be cooking and eating Litwick,
Mm.
the
All
candle
right.
Pokemon,
Very
which
Time to
just
eat some
reminds
wax.
yes, which
Mm.
just reminds me of an episode of Simpsons where Homer tries to eat really hot chili and he can't do it, so he drinks melted candle wax to coat his throat, so he doesn't actually taste it, and then he drinks an entire thing of chili, and then he like has a psychedelic freak out.
But if someone did that recipe on this show, then someone would say, "Oh, you didn't use the actual Pokemon, or you didn't like cook it. It was just like
You
You
just
just melted it.
Just drink the yeah. So Ian, next week we can't just drink the wax from this candle as the recipe.
Jeremy, I'm gonna drink wax on this show.
You can't be like, oh, well, actually, this Litwick is a delicious latte in the center, and it comes that way.
Oh no.
I would do that, and you would call me out, and then you'd be like, "I'm using the string as floss."
What I like about that is it doesn't really imply anything.
The implication is there. It's
The implication is that I love flossing.
don't we all?
Yeah, you go into your school and you see your kids flossing. Do they still floss? Do kids still floss? Like the dance?
Not. Yeah, there are some stragglers for sure.
Some
Some stragglers.
They're
They got
sadly
left behind a
flossing in
year.
the corner.
Yeah, they haven't figured it out yet.
Excellent. Well, that has been our show this week. Now let's do plugs. Plug your shit. Tell us about it. All right. Anyone want to do it? Ben?
You can follow me on Twitter at Ben C. Montoya. I tweeted about Kingdom Hearts.
And your cat.
And my cat just started harness training. I think I'm gonna tweet a picture tomorrow.
Nice.
That's pretty good.
Are you trying to
nice.
make your cat an adventure cat?
That's the goal.
Yeah,
That's the
is it a
dream.
rock climbing harness? Is it
No,
a,
it's just a normal harness that she hates.
not a Mission Impossible harness where you can like lower her down on a string?
Yes.
No.
When you put the harness on your cat, does she just like fall over and not move?
Yeah, she wasn't very happy about it. But that's why we're training, you know.
Excellent. Ian.
Yeah, I'll plug two things. One, follow me on Instagram at Ian Reynolds Photo. That's my photography business. Posted something new last week. I think they're pretty nice. I am booking everything. You need portraits. I did a shoot for a model the other day. If you're getting into modeling, you're getting married. You're popping the question. I could be there. I'll pop out of a bush. I did that for Evan.
Oh,
You did, my man.
Seriously, like call me up. I'm booking weddings for 23. Literally just pay my plane ticket and I'll be there. That's way cheaper. You go get some quotes and then you tell me that's the better financial decision. Okay. Second thing, which I was excited to plug, but now it's in turmoil. Zoltan and the Fortune Teller's new music video has dropped, but one of our members realized that they were a 40-year-old dad singing into a penis. You'll have to watch the video for context. And so we're editing it just a little bit, just tweaking it just a little bit so it's a little more less embarrassing. I don't think it's back up, but if you just keep searching Rasputin's dick on YouTube,
you will find some things. You will find something.
Yeah, the algorithm will eventually work out where you're going to see a thumbnail of a bearded guy and me in a kilt, and that will be the video you're going to want to watch. Keep an eye out. I'll tweet it when it's back live. Zoltan and the Fortune Teller's Dick Rasputina.
Mm-hmm. Rah, rah, Rasputin, lover of the Russian queen. Evan, what is your plugs?
You can follow me on Twitter at @E_Van Aubrey. You can also make art that the world was never meant to see at just Google Dolly Mini and put in your random things and show us on the Discord.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly love seeing them. I love and hate seeing them. Sometimes,
Yeah.
I'll
hate
be honest. Last couple of nights, I've had dreams where I've woken up and I'm like, I'm like looking things up and trying to make it work, and I haven't been able to.
The robot told me in my dreams.
I just see so many of them on Twitter that I'm like, what the hell is happening? Like my world is becoming detached. But I honestly do love seeing them because they're usually pretty funny.
Ben, can Dolly explain Kingdom Hearts?
No, it failed.
Okay.
It failed to.
Interesting. Maybe I'll play Kingdom Hearts and tell you how to feel about it.
I would love that.
Well, but you want to hear what my opinions? Well, you can go to Velocity Prime 1 at Velocity Prime 1 on Twitter for I don't know, garbage. I haven't been hiking lately because there's fucking fires everywhere and I can't go hiking, so it's sad. But I'm going rafting next week. That'll be fun. Anyway, Velocity Prime 1 on Twitter and Tumblr. I guess I do have a Tumblr account that you can look at, which just posts episodes of this show. So if you want to check that out. Also, check out the-avocado.org right for there. The-avocado.org. Jeremy Zelick. It's pretty good. All right. That's been I Choose You, the podcast about cooking and eating Pokemon. You can find us on your favorite podcasting app, including Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, or Spotify, or your podcast catcher of choice. If you like our show, give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify to help us go up the ranks. If you want more I Choose You goodness, may I suggest our official social media pages, including Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok. All those are at I Choose Pod. ICHEWSPOD. More community events can be found at the I Choose You Discord. We have a Discord event next Friday. Is it next Friday?
Yes, it is next Friday, June 24th.
Excellent. We're going to play a little game of Gartic Phone, which is a hoot and a half. So if you want to hoot and half with us, join us next Friday for a nice little game of Gartic Phone. That's on the I Choose You Discord. Links in the episode description and on our social media pages. Lastly, but not leastly, do not forget to visit ichooseyou.menu. ichooseyou.menu has a full episode archive and a merch store with wonderful items, all designed by one Evan Aubrey. All that and more at ichooseyou.menu. And that's been it. So, for the show, I've been your host and Dalton Brown of the group, Jeremy Zielik.
I've been your friend on this show, Ben Montoya.
I've been Felix Sultan, Ian Davis.
I've been your pizza salad, Evan Aubrey.
To all the choosies out there in Radioland, in a while, Totodile.
It's always hard when the recipe's new.
Make a presupposition or just make a stew.
But there's no month that we can't cook. So turn up the volume, put down that book.
It's season 5.
Let the pan sage roast.
Keep the Nilux alive.
Make some tepid toast.
So crack a cold one, now's the time.
Cooking Pokemon and making rhymes. We're not always right or wrong, but you'll probably have some fun. It's win or lose based on the jokes you choose. The winners within. It's a podcast called I Choose You. Ben, Evan, Jeremy, and Ian too. Let the cook